Hey, what's up? I'm gonna show you how to fix your Fisher Paykel washer dryer combo washing machine that is not drying the clothes properly, or is just not drying the clothes at all. It won't necessarily bring up an error code, but if it's not drying, I'll be showing you how to fix it. Now, your model might look different to this one, but don't worry, because this principle will apply to most Fisher Paykel washer dryer combination washing machines. So this is a combo. It's got the washer and dryer all in one. So I'll show you how to fix out any issues that are happening with it in regards to the drying. You're gonna need to grab yourself a multimeter. If you don't have one, it's one of these things, really cheap to buy at your local electric parts store. It'll be about maybe 20 bucks or 30 bucks. Something cheap. You don't need something too expensive. Or if you've got friends who have these, or someone who's an electrician, just ask them to borrow it for a day or so and then do the testing for these. So when you put it onto the dry cycle, it won't necessarily give you the error code to say the drying's not working, but it will be evident that it will just keep going, but it won't actually dry the clothes. So it'll finish the washing, and then when it comes to the drying part, it will finish and the clothes are still damp. Nothing's happened in there. So I'll show you how to fix that issue. Grab yourself your multimeter, and you also need a Phillips head screwdriver, which you're gonna use to take off the top lid. Before we do anything else, we're gonna switch it off from the power and we're gonna unplug it so that we don't get zapped. The back here on the left and on the right, there'll be two screws there that will be above it. So you need to make sure you take those off. You take off the top lid, you pull it back. Once you've taken off those two screws, it might be a bit tight, but it'll come off. Pull it back and it comes off. If you just have a look over here, that's where one of them will be. And then on the other side, the other one will be there. So once you take them off, it'll just slide back, and then we can work on finding out what the issue is with your drying. To remove the top cover, if you have a look in there, close there where you've got this heating part, this is your heating part. So you've got your fan right here. Your fan is here, and you'll hear it usually when it starts drying, you will hear it go. You can hear a fan sound. What we want to focus on is there is a little thing that looks like a button here, one here, and there's another one on the side here. So one on the side and one on the top here. We need to check those because those are like little fuses, cut in and cut out sensors that if it reaches a certain temperature, it's going to cut out to protect you from burning down your house or from damaging the unit. So usually that's your first port of call. That's the first thing you need to check to make sure that those are not faulty. So we're going to start with this one here on the right. We're going to check with our multimeter to see if it's still working properly. Grab your multimeter and turn it over to the continuity setting. On mine, it's the one with the little, looks like a sort of like a radar thing there. That's the one I've got it on, where it's pointing there. The one with the little thing that looks like a speaker. That's where you need to put it. So if yours has got one, it'll be that one right there. So you put it on that, and then before we do anything, just touch them to make sure you hear that audible beep. So mine beeps as soon as you touch the probes. Now I'll just put that to the side. Before we start to test anything, you need to disconnect these wires, and one of them might be a bit hard to take off, but it does come off. This is where, if you've got a flat screwdriver, you might want to use that to just sort of pry it off. Just push it back. Once you've got that off, take your negative and your positive, and then just connect it to that. If you can hear it beep, you can hear the beep there, it means that it's still working, because this is where the current comes through, and we can hear that it's working. If you can hear that, it means it's working. So we know that that's working. And usually if it's like a resettable fuse, if it overheats, this pops out, and then when you open it, if you press it down, it'll actually reset. It's like a breaker in your house or something, and then you can press it and then it will work. But in this case, I've already just gone straight through and tested the power coming in from here to there, and I can see that there's power coming through there. So definitely it's not that. And then we're gonna test the other one as well, because there's two of them on here. One of them's resettable and the other one is not resettable. The other one's over here. So these are called safety overheat sensors or resettable thermostat. If you go on eBay and you type in Fisher and Paykel safety thermostat or resettable thermostat, you'll find them on there. And you need to put the part number of your washing machine and you'll find it. Maybe the best place to find those would be to look up on Google for a Fisher and Paykel spare parts dealer, or get Fisher and Paykel themselves to sell you the part to you. The next one we're going to test is this one here. So this one is not resettable. So once that pops, that's gone. You have to change it. Whereas this one can pop and then you can press it in and then it will work. So we'll take off the wires like we did on the other one, using, if possible, a screwdriver. Comes out. And then this other one should come out as well. There you go. So it's out now. We're gonna make sure that it's working as well. We'll use our probes and probe both sides. And there you go. You got continuity there. So that means that's working. If all that is working, the next thing you can do is you can find out in terms of your heater to make sure that your heater is working properly. You can also test the power coming to the heating element, but we'll do that if we find out that the heater's not working. So to test to make sure that the heater is working, you'll see that there's two cables coming out of our heating element. So the heating element is this one, and there's a red and a black wire coming out of it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get our test meter and we're gonna turn the dial and put it on to measure ohms. So we want to measure the resistance. We can also do the continuity. So let's start with the continuity and see how that's going to see if the heating element is working. Your heating works by that resistance. When you're getting resistance, that's how you heat up the element. So the heating is electrons moving along your heating element or that coil of wire. That's what creates the resistance. So if there's a break in that wire inside your heater, there's no more resistance. It's more like just any other wire that's got a break in it. So we need to test to make sure that it's got some resistance in it. With that, we just start with a simple one with the continuity to make sure that it's still connected. And then we'll move on to the resistance one to make sure that there is enough resistance, because it can still have some resistance, but if it's not enough, it's not gonna be heating enough. So with that, we'll still leave it on continuity, and then we'll probe one end into the black wire that's coming out of the heater, which is here. And then the other one is going to go where we had the other resettable safety thermostat. So I've got that in, and I'll put the other one on the other one. And I've got nothing. All right. So once you do that, that means that there's nothing, it's not working there. That heater is not working. I've got another heater here just to show you for comparison, because a lot of people get winded up in like, how much resistance should it be? Let's just see. The first thing we just want to see is is there enough resistance is there any continuity in there? So this is another heating element that I've just got lying around, and I'm just going to test that for continuity. And straight away, I've got continuity. So that means that this heater is working, but the one on mine is not working. And also just to give you an idea on how much resistance you need in this heater, I'm gonna test how much resistance coming out of the new heater that I have and the resistance that's coming out of the heater that's currently on this washer dryer. So I'm gonna test the resistance on our new heater and compare it to the resistance that's on the old heater. So with that, the resistance, you put it on your lowest setting. Mine is on 200, and I'll probably be looking for something like 13 or 14 to 20 ohms. And just as we did before, one probe on the black one and one on the red one. And not sure if you can see there, nothing. I'm getting nothing. All right, let's test and see the new one. So the new one, I'm gonna put on the red and the other probe on the black. So you see, I'm getting about 32.6. That's good resistance there. 32.6 ohms, which is good. That's what we want. That's the target for this. So if you've got yours, you want round about there, 32, 36. That's about right. But this one's showing nothing. Another thing you can do, say if you've tested your heating element and you've seen that it's working and you want to find out further to see where the problem lies, you'll see that there's a wire here, a blue wire, which is the other wire that's connected to this resettable thermostat. And there's a brown wire. So you've got your live and you got your neutral there. So just connect one probe to that one and then the other probe to the other one, to the neutral. You want to put it on the voltage. So on you want to put it on alternating current, because it's alternating current. And you can just use maybe, because you're going to be I'll put it on 600. It's going to be like 220. That's what you want to be getting. So you're going to set it like that. Obviously safety first. Make sure you're not touching all this. Make sure you just set it there and you forget it, even if you have to like bridge a wire and do it like this. So then you turn it on and then you put it on the dry cycle, wait for it to get to the drying, and then you can probe it like this. So before you plug in everything and test it like that, put it into the power, put it on the dry cycle, and then once it's done spinning and then you hear the fan kicking in, then you can test your live and your neutral to make sure that it's getting power to the heater. If it's getting power to the heater, then something else is going wrong. But usually it's the heater. You're not gonna mess around with the board not sending power to your heating element or your dryer part. It is more to do with this heating element. Now to get the heating element, you'll have to call Fisher Paykel and get the right one, because it's so easy to buy the wrong one and then it won't fit in here. If you just have a look a bit closer there, you see that there's a bit of heat paste, some paste in there. So you'll need to get to your local spare parts dealer and you're gonna have to get some of this paste. And when you put in the new heating element, you put it in, then you put that paste in there as well so that it seals properly. Because if it's leaking air, then it doesn't dry properly. Now, there will be the task of removing and replacing the heating element. Really simple. What you'll need to do is you're going to need to remove these screws. So there's 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just remove all those and take this metal panel off completely. Then the same goes at the front. At the front here, there's 1, 2, 3, and then on the other side, there's 1, 2, 3. Remove this panel as well. And once you've got that off, hopefully that will be enough for you to then start removing your heating element. So to remove the heating element, this part has to come off. For this part to come off, you have to take off the screws that are around it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll post a video once I get my new heating element and show you guys how to do it. But before then, if you do get to it, just remember you just need to remove this, and then you can go ahead and replace that faulty heater. Then it's pretty simple. It'll work and it'll be back to working again. If you have any questions, if you get stuck in any stage of this diagnosis and repair, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll get back to you. For those that don't know where your model number is, it will be on the back. So there'll be a sticker there. So like on mine, there's a sticker on here. They'll say product and then they say model. Mine's WD7560P1. So you just give that part number to Fisher Paykel when you call them and just say, hey, it's a washer dryer. I need the heating element. And then you'll get a new heating element and then it'll be back to working condition in no time. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you on the next video.